Radical.
I'm sorry. So sorry. I'm a hypocrite and I got that switch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Mutahar that I'm going to talk about this because I was trying to avoid it, but I can't. Because I'm Radical Rick. I call out things. So I got to be equal opportunity call outer if I see something from somebody and I can call it out. That's just how I roll, man. And I hope you understand. It's possible maybe this person might not even know who I am, which is the best scenario probably. Because I've said nothing but nice things about this guy in the past before. Him and Carl Jobst. Well, I might have criticized Carl Jobst in the past for some things, but after that, I said some great things about him and Mutahar, basically exposing Gerard the Completionist. They did so much good a year or so ago. So good. It's been like a year and a half. Damn, time goes by really quickly. But yeah, nothing but great things to say about everything they did to expose Gerard. That's fantastic. But a year and a half later, we got a situation to where I think we need to really look at the situation and call it out for what it is. Consumerism. Absolute weakness and consumerism from this guy who got a switch after calling it out just about harder than anybody else I've seen. I'm kind of shocked, but maybe I shouldn't be, that this guy got himself a switch. Now, I made it about maybe 4 minutes into the upload, and I think I listened to enough to where he first talked about how he was sorry, he called himself a hypocrite, felt bad about it. And maybe he does feel bad about it. I can't say one way or the other if this is like just a damage control upload or if he actually feels bad enough to where he has to address it, or maybe he has so much of his fan base where he's like, damn it, I just kind of have to upload something and address this and say I'm sorry to everybody. But I look at it as the best ad that you could possibly get for Nintendo. The best, absolute best ad. Because I talked about this when I talked about Mug Thief getting one, how people were trying to defend that, saying, well, yeah, he's critical of it, but this way he can get the system and he can be more critical of it by having the system and then being critical. Like, that's not how it works. Because with many of these YouTubers, you can't tell me that they don't know somebody that has the system that they can borrow. So he said one of the reasons he got the system is so he could check it out from a perspective of being able to check out the system or that kind of stuff. Like this guy who has 3.85 million subscribers doesn't know a motherfucker with a Switch 2 he can borrow. Let's be honest here, Muda. And I don't think, from the 4 minutes I checked out of your upload, I don't think you actually just let people know the real reason you got a Switch 2. There's nothing at work here. There's nothing separate at work here that's causing you to get it for your channel. It's not for your channel, okay? It's because you want to play the Switch 2. You want it. You need it. You have to have it in your life, okay? I used the SpongeBob analogy where he said like he didn't need water. Air was fine. He doesn't need water anymore. No. Just like SpongeBob, you need the Switch 2. You need to hold it close to your bubbies and hug it every night. You needed a Switch 2, all right? Let's just be honest about it. And he is an ordinary gamer. I saw a comment saying, hey, well, maybe he's just an ordinary gamer. He couldn't resist getting a new gaming system because he's a gamer. Okay? That would make sense. Just say, listen, I want to experience all the games. I'm a gamer. Even though I don't like Nintendo, I don't like their policies, At the end of the day, I'm just a gamer. I can't control myself. That's all you had to say. You know how I made this all convoluted? Maybe you're trying to convince yourself that there's different reasons you got to Switch. But a lot of people in the comment section, they rightly, the same people that have given a lot of dislikes to this upload, they know what it is. They know what it is. Now, the last thing I'll talk about is, does it need to be an apology, though? I mean, it's not like he did something super wrong. Does it need to be an apology? I'm going to read his pinned comment here. And this situation is just sad. It is. I chose to speak on it. You might say, Rick, you couldn't resist speaking on this? Just in the same way Muta couldn't resist getting a Switch too? Fair enough. Fair enough. But me, I'm not a hypocrite. I just want to show you all that I'm objective. I don't want anybody saying, listen, Rick, you call out certain people, but you're not going to call out this person? Even if you can? Like, yeah, fine. I can. Nothing wrong with it. I'll call out anybody. And I'll praise anybody. Ain't nothing getting in my way of that, and speaking my mind. Muta said, just a text post here to add, I really do feel like a bad person in this. I don't know about that, man. Like, I don't know. It's sad if you feel like a bad person. I'm not gonna say you're a bad person, man. Like, you're not a bad person. Or maybe, like, I hope it's not this, to where he's overdoing it in a way to make you feel like your criticism of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody makes a slight mistake, but then they go overboard and they say, I'm just a bad person, I'm terrible, I'm sorry, you know, to make it seem like, okay, it's on you for criticizing him. Maybe he does feel like a bad person. Maybe that's the reason that he uploaded this and not just damage control. He said, I don't want to send you guys any mixed signals. I figured when I cover everything controversial like I've done in the past, I always do buy it to talk about on the channel in an objective way. I've done similar things for the Vision Pro and games like Assassin's Creed Shadows. Sometimes the finished product is a mix of positive or negative signals, and I really did want to do the same here. Though in the end, myself contributed to the bad practices in the gaming industry, and that's never tolerable. For that, I apologize, and all I can do is say I'll do better going into the future. I thank those who stick around and fully understand those who don't. I don't know, is anybody leaving his channel because of this? Well, maybe it's possible. Maybe possible, I don't know. But one thing I just want to zoom in here on is he's talking about being objectiveness, and he needs to buy to talk about the things on the channel. I just don't buy that. I really don't. Now, my curiousness is, was it an impulse buy, Muta? Or did you know you were going to get one? He said he even went to the midnight release. So I feel like it was not an impulse buy. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I think you knew that you were going to get it. I feel like you knew, right? I don't think there's any way also that a guy that makes the kind of money that Muta does on his channel, I don't think there's any scenario that he doesn't get a $450 Nintendo Switch. I just don't feel that way. Like most people, $450 is, it's not a grand sum of money, but with this economy right now, a lot of people don't have that to spend on a gaming system. For Muta, though, who has the kind of bank that he does, for him, it's like maybe 45 cents. So I don't know. It just seems like, of course, maybe not 45 cents, maybe $4.50 would be more accurate versus your average person. But yeah, I'm not really buying it. The fact that it was an impulse buy and he just happened to pick it up. I'm not really sure. I'm half and half on if he actually feels bad or if he is damage controlling. I'm not sure. Either way, though, I will stick to it. I don't think this is a bad person for deciding to buy a Switch. I do think it's a weak person, an incredibly weak person, like many people that got the Switch 2. It's not just him. It's the best-selling games console of all time, so many of you that were criticizing it, you just couldn't help your fucking selves. You had to get this. And what's so funny for Nintendo is they can now, if they wanted to put it in their advertising, they could put Muta up there as like one of the people that was critical of it, but winded up actually having to show up to get it because they got to play the Mario Karts, right? Not saying that Nintendo would have an ad campaign, but it would be just really quite interesting if they did something like that and showed you all of the YouTubers that were playing the Switch. So yeah, Muta, enjoy your Switch 2. Enjoy it. Don't cry on your Switch 2. It'll be okay. Everyone's gonna move on and forgive you, and they'll just move on to something else in another situation entirely. He's sorry, so sorry.